we're back with another episode.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of the Face Off with Fleming and Fowler. We are back at it again. Thank y'all so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Woohoo! How was your week last week?
It was all right.
Okay.
I had a lot of family time, which was cool.
Cool.
I love my family, so that's nice.
Always.
Good people.
Yeah.
Nice laughs.
Good food.
Great food.
Why wasn't I invited? That's very rude.
Oh,
Jeez.
You know what? Well,
Yo, I still have never met Alyssa's mom.
here's my
ever.
okay. Listen,
And she lives in the city.
Okay, there is a very okay. You know how you code switch all the time?
Yeah.
There's like a very weird but comforting like situation I have with my family where it's not like I'm around a bunch of racist people.
Inserts racism.
But I am just around a bunch of white people from Texas. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
The like soft racism that if we were up in the Northeast, people would be like, these people are fucking racist.
Yeah.
But because we're in Texas, you're like, no, they're just from Texas. It's that. Not that you would be weird around that, but I just would be like, we would have to have a very strong conversation, you and I, before we went into this room.
Yeah, I wouldn't have any expectations. I would
already
know what I was walking into.
Yeah, it's the like we say these very kind things to you, but they're chock full of microaggressions. But we mean them so wholeheartedly and sweetly that you're
Didn't
like,
your Nana put something on her refrigerator or
yes,
something like
bitch,
that?
the Confederate flag,
Yes.
something, the Confederate. It's like that where she was like, well, like you know,
they're like, you're not black, you're a good black. You're like,
and when
yeah.
they're also like, well, we'd hate to treat you different.
Exactly.
So we just have to treat. It's so, but God, I love them. They're my favorite.
That's all you
They're
know. That's all
my
you know.
favorite people. They're just so sweet and fun. Wouldn't trade them for the world, truly.
Right.
But it's just one of those things where I'm like, I'm sure this looks crazy to other people, but that's
they're like, is this girl adopted?
Yeah,
It's like,
truly.
no, she's not. You look just like your Nana.
The other day, because everything's so interchangeable, right, with family. So, like. I call my grandpa and my nana, but when anybody else is talking, my mom and I are also so close, so they'll just be like, have you talked to, like, they'll be talking out loud, have you talked to your dad, have you talked to your mom, whatever, and we kind of know who everyone's talking about. And so we were all sitting there, and my aunt was just yelling, trying to get my mom. She was like, hey, have you talked to your dad lately? And I was like, yeah, I saw him Saturday. I was like, well, not my dad, I never seen my dad, but her dad. And my mom was like, why the fuck would you even say that? I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, because it's just the first thing that came to my head.
First thing came to my head. Anyway, all I have to say, it was a fine week.
That's great.
Texas is now #1 in football.
Oh, Texas like the school.
Texas
Longhorns.
like the school. Yeah, Texas is a state.
I was like, Texas as a
talk
state
about
is
that.
pretty horrible, but yeah.
So that was good. We had a bye week. I watched a bunch of football Saturday, which was super fun.
Okay.
I worked Saturday.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. But that's okay. It's October in Texas, which is one of the coolest months we'll have. It's not very cool at all.
It's not. I was like, what? Hopefully it'll be
not.
cool by the time Halloween comes.
I'm hoping. But
My
all
neighborhood
good
goes crazy for
things.
Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
That's fun. How was your week?
My week was really cool. Very busy at work. Y'all, it's very difficult. I know we talk about our jobs all the time because that's what you come here for, the hard-hitting facts about our
That's
jobs.
what you want to know.
And how much we hate them sometimes. I am grateful for a paycheck. I am grateful for, number one, my
Hallelujah.
livelihood. I am thankful and I'm grateful to God for the knowledge and skills and abilities that I have as a physical therapist to be able to provide cost-effective healthcare serving God to serve humanity. Anyway,
Oh,
it's an inside
serving
joke.
humanity to honor God.
Exactly. So that's an
Providing
inside joke.
cost-effective healthcare to all.
Exactly.
That's what we do.
It's very hard to do my job, though, when you have incompetent leadership, which I feel like I have been on this trend of incompetent leadership since 2020. And I'm trying to get out of it, and it's very difficult, but I am keeping strong, and I am on the bloodstained banner for the Lord. Anywho, my week was actually pretty good. I had a situation at work where... And we'll get more into it in the recap corner, but y'all know I have a student. I take students all the time, which I love teaching and I love having students. But one of my students had like a little emotional, kind of like not a meltdown, but she just got really emotional.
I would just like to say that every student she's ever told me about, she's like, oh, they cried. So I'm like, what's the common denominator here? You're out here making your students cry.
Here's the thing. I feel like I am the CI that I wish I would have had in certain situations.
You're
I am
sure
a
as
very,
fuck who I wish I had.
yeah, I'm a very laid back CI. I am not unrealistic. When I first started out as a CI, I was very like stern, like no professionalism. Now I'm just like, bitch, I'm 11 years in. Fuck all of this shit. Okay, it does not matter because I like to show my students the good, the bad, and the ugly.
The only thing I not worry about, but like because I don't take students because I can barely fucking handle myself. I like truly am
You
at
get
that
to carry
point.
your walker.
That's true,
Yeah.
but like can you imagine me trying to keep myself and someone else on track? It is rough.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Like we just had a student, the PT that I work with a lot, and we were also this very chill call.
Yeah.
Like, come on, we're eventually we will be your co-workers.
Yeah. Colleagues.
So like we can have this chill, but they got too comfortable way too fucking quick. Does that happen to you?
No, because I established the rules very quickly. And I tell my students, I'm like, listen, I'm a very laid back CI, but don't try me. Because my professionalism will come out very quickly. And I'm always professional, but I just let them know we are not equals. And I don't care how comfortable I make you feel. You are assaulting patients without my presence. So yeah, because you don't have a license. So we're not coworkers. I'm still your teacher. But I want to make a very safe and open environment, because a lot of times, you know, these students, they come in with no experience working in healthcare. And so I want to make the environment as easy as possible for them to feel comfortable to then be able to build on that and build their clinical judgment. Because if they're already rigid when they come in, and then I'm even more rigid, that they're going to have a horrible learning experience. Break. Exactly. And then you're going to burn them out before they even get started. So, and that was one of the things that my very first CI did. He was like 2 or 3 years older than me, and so we used to play the Wii. He would go get Jamaican beef patties. White man, hilarious. Anyway, but shouts out to Jake.
There's always a cool white dude named Jake.
Yeah, who's like down with all the black people, especially the Caribbean people. And he was super cool, and so he fostered an environment that was very relaxed and very open, and made me feel comfortable to mess up and to fail under his license. Where now I can give that back to other students as well too.
Here's what I will say. PTOT students out there, no matter how chill, comfortable, cool, fun you and your CI are, you're there to fucking learn.
True.
And you're there to make their load easier. So
very true.
Just don't get too comfortable where you're like letting things slide, or you think everything's super chill because they're being super chill about it. No, because nothing pisses me off more. Like, I can be lax. I have a license. I already did this shit. You cannot be like you don't have to be super uptight, but it's not like things shouldn't roll off you.
When I say we're going up on the floor at 8:30, I don't need you. I don't need you strolling to my desk at 8:32.
Yeah, because you think I just like am cool and lax and whatever. Yeah. Like, no, you're still here to perform.
At 8:29, you should be at my desk.
That's what I'm saying, and that's what pisses me off. Also, I think when you're good at your job, you make things look really easy, and then students think, "Oh, this is easy.
I can do this."
It's not fucking easy. There's 18 things running through my head all the time. Like, I'm doing a million different things that I've learned to do because I fucking passed my boards. I have a license, and I have
experience. And I have clinical judgment. And
and you don't.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing too. Like, it's like, other than my week being very busy, we'll get right into the rehab corner because we're talking about it now. So one of my students, she had an emotional situation this week. And so we were working with a patient who had a spinal surgery. And so she was giving him his spinal precautions of no bending, lifting, twisting, right? And so no BLT. So she was getting ready to transfer him to the edge of the bed, but the way she was transferring him would have violated the spinal precautions. And so I just politely asked her, "Hey, what surgery did your patient have?" And I asked her in front of the patient, because a lot of times I do it because, again, if you don't know what you're doing wrong at that time, you're not going to remember what you did. Right. So, and I said in a very nice way or whatever. And so I was like, "What surgery did your patient just have?" And so she said, spinal fusion. And I said, "And why are you not log rolling?" And so she was like, "Oh, okay." So I think from there, she just kind of like, she's a perfectionist. And so she's very hard on herself. So afterwards, she just, started crying. And so I was like, no, let's go into a room. So I took her into a private area where nobody was there. You love
pulling everybody into a room.
Well, no, the thing is, because I'd be
like, cry at the nurse station, bitch, like everybody else.
I wanted to create a safe space for this student to be able to let out her emotions. Because the thing is, too, it is hard being a PT or OT student. Like, people think it's a breeze. Like, oh, it's so easy. All y'all doing is just walking people. And I'm like, no, you are studying at a doctoral level, and you still have classes even though you are on your clinicals also, giving away free work.
You think you're gonna kill every patient.
Exactly. And then also too, you think you're failing every single day because your CI says something to you that's contrary to what you're doing, and you're just like, "Oh my God, I know I'm gonna fail." And it's like, you're not failing. First of all, I wouldn't let you get to the midterm if you've already failed. I'm gonna fail you in the first 2 weeks.
Also, I feel like the didactic part of school is a pressure cooker. Like it's just they're cramming information, you have to regurgitate it. Mixed into that are practicals where you're practicing the like what functional part of it, like you're performing these things on patients, but it's still pressure cooker, and that's literally practicals were my fucking
they're the worst.
Dante's Inferno.
Because you're just like, I know I failed.
I hated and it's not real, but you have to show that you know how to test these skills and shit like that, and that's like the closest thing to your clinical field work were those practicals, and I feel like that stress just like bleeds into it.
And the thing is, there's unrealistic expectations that these professors put on these students. And I'm like, when was the last time some of y'all professors actually worked in a clinic or worked in a hospital setting? Because I'm like, you're making like, for example, her program times them to give them 30 seconds to put on PPE, like gowning.
30 seconds?
And I'm like, what? We talking to the nurse?
I take my sweet and bitch. I'm like, time in.
Yes. And when he explained, when I had a conversation with him, I was just like, that's not realistic. That's not a realistic,
it takes me 30 seconds to open the package of the gown.
It takes me 30 seconds just to put my gloves on, okay? Just to even establish who am I going to see again?
Literally, the whole time we're like, so what are you going to do for lunch?
Exactly.
What's your plan for the patient?
Because we hate putting this stuff on. And so I was just telling her teacher, I was like, listen, these are unrealistic things that are not practical in clinical settings. And I'm like, hip checking the bed. And I'm like, nobody's grading you on that. But they tell these students that, and they come to the clinic and they come to the hospital and they're like, well, I know you're grading me on that. Who told you that? Who said that?
Let me tell you, the only way and reason you're gonna hip check a bed is when you get someone up and that bed comes right the fuck out.
That's it.
And that's the only way you're gonna learn, and that's the only way you're gonna be like, I gotta hip check the bed.
Well, and two, I just wanted to. The thing is, some students that I work with.
Who grades you on that?
I'm not grading that shit because, listen, I'll put on some gloves. I'll be like, you know what? I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm taking it off. I'm going back. Like, it's not an emergency to go. Like, no, who's timing you? Like, no one cares.
The other day I went to get someone up. I was co-treating with Jessica because I was at Maine, and we sat someone up. Her student was in there, and I was like, "Did you just move the bed?" She's like, "No." I was like, "Oh shit."
Hey, let me check it again. Let me hip check it. But yeah, I just told her. I told my student, I was like, "Listen, I get it that you're a perfectionist, but you are judging yourself much more harshly than I am." And I said, you have to realize this is your very first rotation. You've only been in PT school a year. I don't have this unrealistic expectation that you're supposed to know all this stuff.
She's a baby.
She hasn't even had pharmacology yet. So I'm like, why do you think I would? Right, but I'm just like, I adjust my teaching style based on your curriculum and what you've learned already because I have a one-to-one with you. And so I just told her, I was like, let me just make this very clear. You're not failing your clinical.
There you go.
And even if because she was like, I just felt really stupid because I did this and I don't know why, and I didn't know if other clinicians who were in the room who were judging me. And I'm like, you're judging yourself. I can guarantee you, none of my colleagues care about you in that manner. Like,
I also don't know what.
They don't know you. We don't know you as a person. You're a student that's training to learn this stuff, and you need to fail now so you don't fail when you have a license.
Yeah.
So,
well, how do you feel about acute care for level 1 rotations?
I actually like it because it helps to put things in perspective because, for example, we've had a few stroke patients or patients with like, clonus, spasticity, all that kind of stuff, rigidity. And I love for her to see that because I'm like, you can't fake this shit. Like, you can go on these practicals with your classmates all day, but there are some things that you have to feel in order to understand what it looks like. And I'm like, your board exam is going to be nothing but scenario-based questions, but you have to be able to put a visual to it in order to get it. It's not enough to just know, a stroke is either bleeding on the brain, hemorrhagic, or ischemic. You have to know what it looks like in presentation. Yep. And so I actually like getting students on their very first clinical because it helps me to mold you.
Well, and you don't have to break any bad habits.
Exactly.
Outpatient habits.
Exactly. And the thing is,
I'll say outpatient habits.
Once I get you and you master or you get to a point of comfortability in acute care, you can master the rest of your didactic and the rest of your clinicals.
Yeah.
So I prefer students on their very first rotation.
I prefer PT students on their first rotation too.
Yeah.
OT students is kind of a different ballgame because our rotations are longer. Also, our outpatient usually is outpatient peds. It's not like outpatient ortho.
Yeah.
But outpatient, for some reason, if like that's where the PT student first goes, those are hard habits to break.
Yeah.
Because they're just used to like slanging and banging because it's super busy. They're used to patients that are stable.
All the abbreviations.
Abbreviations.
And then they come not liking poop. And I'm like, listen, bitch, you're going to deal with poop. Okay. Suck it the fuck up.
Yeah. And I'm just like, listen, you have to remember, it's a wholly different ballgame. Outpatient, they walk in for the most part.
Yeah.
They're there because they want to be there. They want to get better. They're motivated. The hospital, No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
They don't want to be there. It's the worst time of their life. They feel like shit. There's 18 people who came in the room before you. They're already in bad moods. So you have to figure out how to navigate that.
Yeah. Well,
And it's just different.
even with these med students, like, you know, I tell my student all the time, I'm like, you have to realize these residents are literally you. Like, y'all are at the same level. You all are learning
because
together.
they're in a white coat don't mean shit.
Exactly. Like these, let me tell you something. Every MD out there, okay, every resident, you are not special because you got an MD.
No.
It's a requirement for you to practice medicine. And I'm not downplaying your degree because that's a very hard degree to get. Like, we understand that.
Yeah.
Those of us who have gone to grad school, we know what it is. I have a doctorate in physical therapy. I know how hard it was to get it. I'm not downplaying it. What I'm saying is I am not special as a physical therapist because I have a doctorate degree. It was a requirement for me to practice physical therapy and to get in the door. Everybody got one. Everybody that's a physical therapist who was graduated from 2009 got a doctorate
and
degree.
you should be good at being a doctor because that's what you got your fucking degree in.
But also-
that's what you've been practicing to do.
But also too, a lot of these kids come into the medical field never having any experience. They've never been a tech before. Half of these kids never even had a job before, so they don't even know how to talk to people. They're
just
talking
fucking around
around
like the rest of
patients.
us.
Like even today, I had this neurologist. Oh my god, I hate this lady because she's such a horrible doctor. Anyway, and then I'm like, you're teaching the next generation of neurologists, and you're horrible. So she comes in the patient's room. My student is literally trying to finish the eval, and I always tell doctors, we're almost done. Give us about 5 minutes, and then you can have the patient. So she's like, well, how was he walking? And I said, he has a shuffling gait pattern, right? Like how Parkinson's patients walk. And so she's like, well, was he able to clear his feet off the floor? And I said, he had a shuffling gait pattern. What part of that are you not understanding?
That's that Fred Flintstone walk.
She's like, well, did he have foot clearance? If I have to say this one more fucking time, if I have to fucking say it one more fucking, then she starts talking to the wife. The wife is already emotional and is just like, I've never seen him like this. I'm like, ma'am, your husband's walking. He's not dead. But anyway, neither here nor there. I get what you're saying. Then the neurologist starts trying to have a conversation with her and all her goddamn 20 residents.
Oh, God.
And I was like, wait a minute. Everybody stop. Give me 10 minutes, take the wife outside so you can have a conversation, allow us to finish our full evaluation so that you can give the patient and his wife your undivided fucking attention, and I can get the fuck out of here. Then she has the nerve to say, can you all get him up one more time to walk so I can see him walk?
Why do you need to see him
Absolutely
walk?
not.
Why? I told you. I'm telling you.
First of all, you're the neurologist. That's your job to do your evaluation. You will not skimp on mine. Bitch, I got shit to do.
Can you imagine me being like, hey, can you go manual muscle test that patient again, Mr.
Girl.
Dr. Neurologist, so I can see it, so I don't have to fucking test it myself?
I looked at her like the audacity, and I said to her immediately, I said, absolutely not. I said, we have other patients to see. You can go ahead. I said, we will be putting him back in the bed with his bed alarm on, and you can get him back out. You don't lost your goddamn mind asking me something stupid like that. Like, again, for these doctors, I need every doctor to look at me. I need you to hear under the sound of my voice. Give patients your undivided attention.
Please.
Stop coming in these rooms for 2 seconds. Let me listen to your heart and lungs. Any questions? All right, well, I'll send my PA back.
And
what?
newsflash, the first time you say any questions, they're going to say no. You need to ask again.
You need to ask
sure?
again, which is why patients already have a disdain for the healthcare industry. And I'm not blaming MDs. I'm just saying there was a huge lack of communication and carryover of information from team to team. The neurologists don't talk to the damn cardiologists. The cardiologists don't talk to the GU doctor. And nobody talks to anybody. And we all got access to the same goddamn records. And then the family members are just like, well, the cardiologist said something about, did you get the results? No, I don't know anything about that. I didn't even know they were getting ready to test you on that.
Bitch,
Talk
the
to your
amount of
patients.
people I've had to talk around their stroke to this week is
Girl.
insane. I cannot tell you that you've had a stroke. I've looked at the imaging. I know you've had a massive fucking stroke. I cannot tell you that.
I can't tell you that. I know you have cancer. I can't tell you.
And I know that doctors are busy, but goddamn, someone come tell those. They're like, flaccid
It's
on
so
one
annoying.
side, droopy on the face, don't know what's going on. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. Like, has anyone told you anything?
And
no.
the thing is, I get it. Y'all got patients to see, but so the fuck do we. We also have patients to see.
Oh, I
All
left
I'm
a
saying
room
is,
the other day. A resident came in while I was starting my evaluation, and I was like, "Oh, she's just gonna tell her something real quick." Sat down on the bed.
See,
I straight up left the room. I'm not doing this.
No, I'm just. I am a person. I am a therapist. Again, if it's an emergency, you shouldn't have consulted me. Okay, I'm a stand right in front of that door like this, and you're not going nowhere. I don't care if you and all your little ducklings, all your little residents gonna stand right the fuck outside because I'm not having it. Again, you
It's
will
called
never,
a productivity standard, man.
but it's also called disrespect because you
Yes.
wouldn't. A neurologist would never interrupt a cardiologist doing their evaluation. A cardiologist would never interrupt a neurologist. Treat us the same because you need our recommendations anyway. Then you'll sit there. So how are they doing? I don't know because you're into fucking interrupting me, bitch. Get the fuck out.
And I just always feel bad. It's been a lot with strokes lately because typically, yes, I'm the same way as you are. Like, let me get the, like, it'll be quicker for me to just get the fuck done and to get out of here.
Yeah.
But it's like the neuro in people come in, and I'm like, obviously you need to tell them that they've had a stroke before I do this evaluation where they're flaccid on one side and don't know why. But can you do it quick? Like, you're doing this runaround shit, and now you're in here, and now we're both stuck in here for another 10 minutes.
And then be quick to chart 60 minutes face to face with patient. You
I'm like,
fucking liar.
Bullshit.
You liar. All I'm saying is, people and their family members have questions, and they deserve to have your undivided attention to ask as many questions as they need to. I get it. Y'all got a tight schedule. So the fuck do we? And we actually have productivity standards. Y'all do not, as the MDs and as the gatekeepers. All I'm saying is be respectful to the other professions that come in who are also a part of the multidisciplinary team that helps to make decisions for these patients. You all are not the most important people on the goddamn team. There's no, you know who's the most important part on this team? The fucking patient. God damn.
Except for x-ray. Fuck you, x-ray.
No, x-ray's quick though. I prefer x-ray and lab. I let them go all the time.
No.
Now them damn EEG techs, I'm sick of you bitches.
You know why?
And EKGs, I'm sick
I'll
of it.
transfer that bitch right into the chair. Who pulls up with their little cart? I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
No, EEG is like, oh no, 45 minute. And then the 45-minute EEG turns into, it's going to be 24 hours.
Echoes
like,
too. They're
damn
like,
it.
not only did the echo, they have to be back in bed. You can't go in there, but they're like, we need the lights off. We need it quiet.
We need the bed all the way up to the
Bed all the way-
sky.
I'm like, I'll be like, man, that bed's high as shit.
It's crazy. All I'm saying is just be respectful in the workplace. Respect other professions that are in there that are part of the multidisciplinary team.
Yeah.
You are not the most important. And if somebody is already there, don't interrupt them and expect for them to just walk out. You can go and see another patient. If a social worker or a case manager is in the room, I'm not going to just stand there and watch you. I'm going to go and see another patient and I'm going to come back. It's not that big of a deal. Like, MDs, I really need y'all to get this
And
shit
I mean,
together.
you're getting
pissing
paid
me off.
way more to wait than I am, so you might as well
Thank
just
you.
wait.
You're a very high paid waiter.
Waiter, yeah.
Like, just fucking wait.
Just fucking wait.
And again, if it's an emergency in a life or death situation, your ass shouldn't have consulted PT and OT. Anyway, getting on into this topic, let's talk about some other stuff when we talk about licensed people. Some shit that's been going on in Atlanta. And it's been going on for a very long time, a lot of different places.
I knew all the motherfuckers there had really nice teeth.
Ooh, girl, listen, let me tell you, I'm going to tell you why they got nice teeth. It's because they go into these people who are not licensed and are getting botched treatment. So in social media news recently, this Atlanta he's the Atlanta veneer tech. He actually got denied bond. He was arrested for practicing without a license. Here's the thing. What in the hell makes, like, okay, let me start over. Why in the hell do you, as a productive citizen of society, why would you think in your brain, I'm going to go to a person to get veneers and get my teeth done with somebody who's not licensed because they wear scrubs?
But do you think, I don't think the average person looks for a license.
You're right, because I work in healthcare, so I'm a licensed therapist.
And
so
like that's how I am
do.
with like plastic surgery, because I've heard plastic surgeons say like, make sure you're going to a board certified plastic surgeon. And I'm always thinking like, well, why the fuck would I go to someone who I didn't know was licensed?
Here's the thing,
But
board
it's 'cause-
certified don't mean nothing. And you just paid thousands of dollars to take a test and to put board certified.
And so
on
I'm
it.
like, oh, there's people out there who just don't give a shit or don't know
Exactly.
better, and they're just like, oh, I saw them
I'm
on
not
Instagram.
saying board certified is nothing. Like I see the fucking
Yes.
clickety clackies.
Don't
I'm
clack.
just all I'm saying. It means something, but bitch, you took a test. Anyway.
Also, here's my other thing. This may be a personal thing, but like I don't trust a doctor who I'm looking at them and I'm like, you look like you could have a separate career besides being a doctor, i.e. Instagram model or, you know, the like. Like I need my doctor to look a little rough and tumbly, like, you know. Do you know what I mean?
You want a fat cardiologist?
I would love a fat cardiologist because I'm like, okay, I get it.
Yeah, I'm a fat PT.
Thank you. I don't want a male model doctor because I'm like, something ain't right. Only psychopaths could get a medical degree in anything or a dental degree and still be hot. There's no way to maintain it.
Like a person like Dr. Miami, this is no disrespect to Dr. Miami. I'm quite sure he's a very great doctor. He's, you know, he seems to have a very lucrative practice. What I'm saying is if you pay more attention to Instagram and you're an influencer, I'm not going to you for services. Except for, I would trust Dr. Jackie Walters. from Married to Medicine and Dr. Simone. I would absolutely trust those two as OBGYNs.
Well, women is separate. I'm talking about men.
And they're black women.
I don't trust pretty men.
As doctors?
As doctors. In general. But definitely with my health.
I trust the old men with shuffling feet.
If you look like you give a good hug, not a creepy hug, like you're a dad hug.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes. Like the neuro doctor that we both love. The neurologist.
Oh, yeah.
Like that? Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
that's
he's
prime
amazing.
time.
He's amazing.
And he's like handsome man.
Yeah.
Just kind eyes.
Yeah.
But
he's like girl dad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's girl dad vibes. Mm-hmm. I'll trust that for, but not Prison Bay looking. No. Also, did this guy say he was a dentist? Did he ever say he was an actual dentist?
I don't know that he said he was a dentist. But first of all, you're calling yourself a veneer tech. Oof. That's already a red flag.
That's like the people out here getting ass shots from like a back alley.
This is what I'm saying. And I don't know why you would trust, because here's the thing. One thing that you can't grow back is teeth. Okay? You can't grow back teeth. Once you shave them shits down, they're not coming back.
I think you can be a veneer tech with like an online certificate.
There is no such thing as a fucking veneer tech.
I'm looking it up right now.
If you are a dentist who specializes in veneers, there's no such thing as a veneer tech. You have to go to dentistry school.
Ooh, Veneer Technologies.
Listen,
VeneerTech.com.
That's some illegal shit allegedly for this.
He was a quote veneer specialist.
That is not a real title. You're a dentist.
That is insane that he was. Veneers are also invasive.
Thank you. It's a medical procedure.
Coming from someone who's had them done.
And you got it done by a licensed dentist.
Fuck yes, I did. You have to. Are you kidding? There's so many.
You better have that DDS at the end of your name.
There's so many nerves.
Yes.
On your teeth. They shave down your teeth to the root. There's all those nerves that go straight to your fucking brain.
And then he had the nerve to be training other people. You can literally die of a stroke getting your teeth serviced.
Do you know what happens if something in your mouth gets infected? It goes straight to your heart.
Straight to your heart, your bloodstream, and you're dead. Like, that shit is not, it's not cute. Like,
these are the people who get BBLs from fucking crazy ass places.
Yeah. Back alley corners.
Atlanta is the Wild West of cosmetology.
And I'm glad he behind bars. Let me tell you something. Let this be your lesson. If you out here doing veneers and shit, stop doing that shit and you're not licensed. A licensed dentist.
4 years without a license.
He's been practicing allegedly since 2021. I'm just like, dude, y'all. There was a nurse that asked me the other day. Her niece, I guess, hurt her shoulder or whatever. And I'm a certified kinesiotaping specialist, right? And so I have to read my thing or whatever. Anyway, and pay my money. But anyway, I took the test. I took all the classes and I took the test, right? But I'm also a licensed physical therapist.
True.
Okay. And so that falls under my practice act. Anyway, and so as she was asking me how to kinesiotape her daughter, I said, well, let me just or her niece, I said, well, let me just tell you this. I am free from all liability because I have not examined or evaluated this patient. I have no clue who she is. I'm just showing you some techniques that you can also look on YouTube. So again, if any injury happens, I am free from all liability because again, I have not evaluated or examined you. I have not actually physically touched you, and I am not taking medical responsibility for you. Thank you for this disclaimer.
I just need you. I would.
He looked like he don't know what he doing.
I would not let this man.
Absolutely not.
I'm going to find a way to put a picture right here. I would not let this man fucking near me with a scalpel. Are you kidding? He looks airbrushed. What does a dentist need to be airbrushed for?
He's not a dentist.
Also, the way he's holding this, he looks like fucking Wolverine. I'm dead. Oh, he's wearing a Van Cleef necklace. He was making money.
Stop trusting everybody in scrubs. Everybody in scrubs ain't licensed, don't work in
Anybody
healthcare.
can buy scrubs. Tell you that right now.
Well, speaking of scrubs, so I don't know if you heard this discourse on social media, specifically on TikTok. There's a sound that's kind of going viral about if you got a
you got $1 in your pocket?
No.
A 20 in your wallet?
If your scrubs match your keys, that match your hat, that match your Crocs, and you got giblets and all this kind of stuff on your Crocs.
Giblets?
Yeah, it's like the little things you can put in the little holes.
Isn't that what you call the insides of a turkey?
Those are gizzards.
Gizzards.
Right. So back to my story. Giblets and all that kind of stuff. They're like, bitch, I don't trust you to take my blood at all. Here's the thing that I do want to say about like fashion in healthcare. I believe that women and men should be able to be fashionable at work. most hospitals, well, especially if you're in a hospital setting, most hospitals have certain colors that you have to wear that may or may not be flattering to your body, your skin tone, whatever the case may be. If you want to wear joggers and you want to match, and there's this one nurse at my job, she's amazing. This woman, I have never seen her mismatched. Okay, she's like beautiful black woman. Her head wraps match her glasses, match her Crocs, and she's been a nurse for like double-digit years, okay? But she is gonna make sure that she is fashionable. I'm talking about she be wearing lapels, everything. She beautiful. But I think that's a character.
Black women get a pass.
True, but I think that's a character thing that like we want to show our character through our uniforms that we're not also able to do. And just because somebody is young doesn't mean that they don't know what they're doing or that they're inexperienced to a degree.
No, but if you have fucking rubber plastic cartoon characters popping out of your Crocs, you're not touching me. That's where I draw the line.
I think that's cute though.
No.
As long as you are competent and you know what you're doing, I don't mind.
If the Crocs are old, dusty, musty, then yeah, I know you're here to do your fucking
first
job.
of all, if you have on Crocs, that's number one. I already know that you knew. If you have on the
dance
clogs, exactly.
The clogs.
If you got clogs on, I know you've been a nurse for a while.
Listen, clogs immediately to me, I'm up in arms. I don't really like that. That doesn't really sit well with me, but I understand now that it's taking over. A lot of the nurses like the Crocs. I just feel like if there's an emergency, what the fuck are you going to do with some Crocs? Also,
you're going to get shit in your shoes.
Thank you. It's the holes. There's holes in the Crocs. I never understand it. Anyway, so I'm trying to let that go, but usually, yes, I would agree. I would agree that Crocs in the hospital, I think they have no place in the hospital.
Yeah, no, I definitely
If you got
agree.
on those fucking clogs, I know you seen some shit. You're here to save my life.
Oh, yeah. Or if you got on like white shoes and white stockings,
yeah,
I absolutely trust you with my life.
If you're a man in the hospital wearing boots, don't get me started.
Yeah, I hate the cowboy boots. The surgeons, a lot of surgeons
All
do that.
the surgeons do it, and they swear it's comfortable, and I just don't believe it. I think they're just trying to get an inch and a half on everybody.
Probably.
I think that's what it is.
They just don't
trying to see over that fucking table.
Yeah, I hate cowboy boots. I just think they're disgusting.
I'm like, why are you trying to dress up a scrub?
Yeah,
wear a tennis shoe like everybody else.
But I think it's really nice that people want to like look fashionable in their scrubs while they're at work. Take pride in your appearance. Absolutely.
Yeah, blah blah blah. Okay. Don't fucking put little charms on your. I don't know why that pisses me off.
I don't know why that pisses you off either. Like I think it's cute.
Because what purpose does that serve?
Because,
why?
Okay, remember back in my school, when you growing up, you were in Catholic school, right?
Yes.
Y'all had to wear uniforms?
Correct.
See, we didn't have to wear uniforms, so we wore whatever we wanted to wear.
Oh.
So probably in Catholic school, you have to wear this. You're looking like everybody else, so you want to stand out. So somebody says, oh, that therapist or that nurse with this or that who always wears pink or who always wears whatever.
No, because I have a personality, so you don't have to fucking do that.
Okay, that doesn't mean that you don't have a personality. I think your personality is shining through your artistry of your clothes.
But that's like, get a badge or like, I don't know, a funky haircut. Why the fuck do you need things on your Crocs?
I don't know why that pisses you. Why does that piss you off so bad?
Someone must have really done something to me with those little gibbles.
You have a visceral response to that.
There's just something about it. Why do you need charms on your shoes?
They're cute. I love giblets. I mean, I have the Walmart Crocs. I don't have the real ones, but I would absolutely put giblets. I just
already don't like a Croc, and then you're gonna accessorize your Croc. Come on.
Well, here's the thing.
Give me a break.
I can't walk in Crocs in a hospital because I will always trip.
Oh, the hospital outlawed Crocs. Did Jessica tell you that?
They what?
They outlawed Crocs for patients.
No way. Because they keep tripping.
Because nurses on an Impella, bitch.
Oh my God.
Crocs on in the hallway. And a stroke. No. I don't know if he stroked before or after the fall. No. But he was in Crocs on an Impella. Well, you know how it's all freaking like 2 inches of foam if you don't get the right size at the top.
True.
He flipped right out of his shoe, fell.
Yeah, Crocs should not be worn for patients.
It's not a real shoe.
It's not, allegedly. But and I always trip. Want to sponsor us, I always trip in them, so I can't wear them at the hospital. I can wear them around my house and stuff.
I feel like they're clown shoes, like you're just flopping around.
Yeah, no matter if you put them in sport mode. I tried to cut my grass with them goddamn things. I'm like, fuck this. Yes. So I had to cut my grass in like rain boots.
Yeah.
But yeah.
My favorite is Crocs with the non-slip socks on. I'm like, oh, that shit's not going
anywhere. You're not going anywhere. You're going to be stuck forever. I tell you what else is up and is stuck. The state of Texas.
Up and stuck.
We just found out Texas is making some changes, clearly not on abortion, but they're making some changes. So in the new year, for those Texas residents who are listening to the sound of my voice, as of January the 1st, 2025, you no longer have to go and get your car inspected in order to get your tag renewed. However, our wonderful brothers and sisters in Houston, y'all will still have to get admissions tests. Anyway, and then they're going to automatically
Emissions
add
test. Is that a thing? What does that mean?
It's just like check your car, make sure your car's okay. Like not the same thing that they did before. It's like checking the transmission and the engine, making sure that your
Why
car
in
actually
Houston?
I think just because they probably have way more accidents. Atlanta does the same thing.
Interesting.
Also, too, Texas now is we are joining the grid. We are no longer going to be North Korea and be a country of a country to a degree, and we are officially going back on the United States grid because Hot Wheels has fucked up this state so much by taking us off the goddamn grid that ERCOT has been able to monopolize allegedly on some shit, and so you should be seeing some reductions, or maybe allegedly, I don't know, who knows. Hopefully, we'll be seeing some reductions in utility bills.
I had a patient this week who told me that their electricity bill at home was $500 a month.
I wouldn't have that home.
$500.
My last one was like 85.
What?
Yeah.
Mine's like $250.
And I put my AC down but I also too, I have my portable ACs.
You do. You're really winning there.
Yeah. So I'm saving energy, man.
Yeah. I couldn't do $500.
$500?
But they said that the husband likes it cold and they have a teenage son, I think, that likes it cold. But I'm like, ma'am, you have lupus. Aren't you just fucking freezing all the time?
Let me tell you what I
want.
RA. Let me tell you what I'm not willing to do ever. I'm never willing to turn up my AC for anybody. When my mother comes to visit me, she already knows, baby, you're going to get this little space heater. You got your own room. You can have as many blankets as you want to. My AC is staying on 70. And I do not care.
As you should.
If you come to where I pay my mortgage, you will freeze. And I do not care.
It's the best part about growing up.
Baby, so when I go to her house and she got her house on 79, guess what I got to do? Suck it the fuck up.
Ooh, that sucks.
It does. And she lives in Florida. So that's already bad enough. But, well, not living in Florida. Florida's an amazing state. But sometimes. Anywho.
My rental car, I've been driving a rental car since July 3rd. I don't know if I've mentioned that. I literally can't stop thinking about it because it's insane. Today is October 7th. I have had a rental car since July the 3rd. Okay.
And you're still paying the car payment?
Actually, that's a lie. I haven't had a rental car since July the 3rd because it took them a month to get me the rental car.
That's very true.
So I just have not had my car since July the 3rd.
Yeah.
I digress. My rental car has Florida plates. And the other day I was at HEB and the frickin', they hire those teenage boys to come get the baskets.
Yeah, yeah.
He was like, hey, you're from Florida? I was like, absolutely not.
Hey.
He goes, oh, okay. I didn't realize my reaction was so strong until he responded like that.
Yeah.
So I just want to say sorry to Florida.
Listen, people from Florida, we're amazing. Most of the people that
You're just tropical Texas.
No. We're absolutely not.
Yes,
Don't
you
try
are.
us like that.
I
Absolutely
100%
not.
believe that.
We have a democracy there. I mean, what's his name? Rick Scott? Not Rick Scott. Ron DeSantis is trying to get rid of the democracy.
Rick Scott.
He was the governor at one point. He was the governor before Man in the Hills got the job. Anyway, yeah, most people that commit crimes in Florida, they are not true Floridians. They're not born and raised there. They're New Yorkers.
I would really like to see the facts on that.
I'm telling you, look at the birth certificate. Florida,
New York,
man.
what are they, snowbirds?
Yes. So many people from up north move, and from the Caribbean too. The Caribbeans are not the one that commit crimes. It's the New Yorkers. It's the goddamn New Yorkers and New Jersey.
Oh yeah, that's a close one way to save yourself.
No, I'm just saying. No, the Caribbean. Listen, people from the Caribbean are the nicest people ever. Like their food, culture, amazing. I'm telling you, it's the people from New York. It's the crazy people from New York that come down there that commit all these crimes and then give Florida a bad name.
Okay,
that's all I'm saying. Speaking of giving a bad name, Hurricane Helene, y'all. We are praying for the people.
I like the name Helene.
I was like, Helene? Hell, literally, she wreaked hell. So this past week, if y'all weren't living under a rock, y'all know that Hurricane Helene was a Category 4 storm that hit the eastern portion of the United States.
Which is so wild. I feel like North Carolina doesn't get hit with stuff.
It doesn't, but when it does, because they don't have the infrastructure for it. But it went through the panhandle of Florida, which my sister lives in Tallahassee, and so they got hit. Got their power knocked out for a few hours, and then it went all the way up to like Georgia and Alabama, and then picked up speed. It was crazy that it picked up speed that many days later, but North Carolina got hit really, really bad. And so in the news recently, FEMA has been under fire for not being able to provide as much aid as they probably would have been able to, I guess, or wanted to, whatever the case may be. And there's been a lot of misinformation that's been spread around about FEMA and about this administration, specifically the Joe Biden and Kamala Harris administration. I just really want us to go back to leaving children behind. George Bush made a grave mistake
Hey, listen.
years ago.
Be careful how you're talking about my president.
No, listen. Fool me can't get fooled again. But what I'm saying is,
He was a character.
George Bush should have never put this program into effect of No Child Left Behind. Y'all are over here banning books and banning abortions. What y'all need to be putting back into schools is U.S. history, civics, and economics classes, because people have no clue how this government works, and it's sad.
I know you're talking about something very important.
But you're about to change.
But I'm about to
subject to
change
something
it
else.
just slightly.
Okay.
Have you seen all the college kids recently talking about how they have not had to read a full book? They don't know how to read books, like true books. Like they read like Percy Jackson and Harry Potter and shit.
No.
There's this thing on TikTok specifically going around about like anti-intellectualism and all of these things, and how like I know,
God,
which
these
isn't the
fucking
important part.
terms.
The important part is there's these students going to college age children,
Yeah.
people, young adults, who have not had to read books, like don't know about literature, and the books that they reference are like 8th grade, 7th grade books.
You mean they didn't have to read Of Mice and Men?
Like shit like that we had to read, and they have never had to read that or dissect it or annotate it. So
That's
then they're getting to college and they're
crazy.
like, what the fuck is this shit? So then there's this huge discourse between like these people saying like, just because something's made for a child doesn't mean an adult can't enjoy it, and people saying like,
Right.
yes, but you shouldn't have to, like, you should be able to digest things that weren't made for, you know,
Yeah.
12-year-old. Anyway, sorry. Isn't that so interesting?
It is.
That
It's
kids don't have to
sad.
read fucking books like they like to be in college
And have never read a full
and have
book?
never had to read a book that has like, I don't know, do you remember reading like Romeo and Juliet and shit? And just
Yeah.
being like, I don't know what the fuck this is
One of
saying.
our teachers had made us act that bullshit out. Fuck you, Miss Salter. No, I'm kidding. No.
A plague on both your houses.
Shout out to Miss Salter. She was amazing. She legit made us play out Othello. I was like, what the fuck? And we came with like bed sheets.
Oh my
Needless
God.
to say, we failed the assignment. That's not the point. The point is, I
But
hate
the
it.
same thing, and like I think that now I'm not a teacher, but it seems to be that the thing is to now teach to the test, because if you're a
Yeah.
teacher, you have to have your kids passing or you get in trouble.
Exactly.
But there's
mirror performance or
this
whatever.
lost, like how much we've lost in not being able to take these books that no one fucking understands at that age and
Yeah.
sit there and try to digest it and figure it out and learn how to work with these things and the meanings behind and all of these things. And that's why I also think now, sorry, I will let you
you're
go back to your
fine.
point. You know, like,
Just take over the show. I'm
yeah,
kidding.
people, there's so many, we talk about think pieces now and
Yeah.
how a lot of people like meaning in movies and art and media gets lost
Mm-hmm.
because people are like, that doesn't make any sense. And I think it's this, like, no one knows how to digest things anymore or think about it critically, or even just like,
Yeah, no, critical thinking is a lost art.
yeah, like no one can take like an entire piece of work, a movie, a book, an article, and think about it holistically.
Context clues.
Yeah.
Now I will tell you one person who has failed on that, and that's Jordan Peele. Nobody understands this motherfucker's movies. Nobody. Jordan Peele, you are gone way off the fucking deep end, dude. And I need you to reel it in and give us some context clues about what the fuck your
the
movies
kids
mean.
here, for the
now,
kids.
what was the one? Get Out. I understood that one absolutely. Us. I understood that one. The one with Keke Palmer and the other dude. But no, I'm like, what the fuck did that mean?
Oh,
You had a
up, was it up, down, lost?
somebody.
One word.
Yeah,
There was one word.
I was all
down,
those things.
I think.
I was all those things in that movie. And I still don't know what the fuck happened. It was a big curtain. I don't know. Fuck. It was
Yeah,
crazy.
I just don't think, and I haven't been in a class like a fucking like a high school classroom in a long time, but I just remember having to be like, I didn't understand this. Did anybody else? What do we think that means?
Well, because we had reading over the summer. You had reading. You
Yeah.
had reading assignments.
well, and you couldn't look it up on the, like, I don't,
No,
I
you
never
can't
could look it up
ChatGPT
on the internet. Yeah.
Yeah, you
I
can't
couldn't
ChatGPT
see a
it.
TikTok of 8 people explaining it to me.
Right, which is why we need to go back to the old days of teaching, because people making comments saying that, you know, oh, Kamala and Joe Biden should be doing more, and how they only gonna give people $750. Okay, I need y'all to understand. This is why we say voting is so important. When you have a presidential election, you are not just voting for the president of the United States, okay? All congressional seats, there are over 400 congressional seats that are up for re-election in less than a month, okay? Less than a month. Next month in these United States, in November 2024, the year of our Lord, all of those seats are up for re-election. Congress has more power than the president to a degree on certain things, right? We know he can veto executive order, blah, blah, blah. But they are the ones who set the budgets for a lot of stuff. You want to talk about veteran benefits? Joe Biden and Kamala Harris don't control that, baby. That's Congress. You want to talk about how much money families are getting in need, in times of need for FEMA? Congress is setting those budgets. And you also need to be looking at which party is fighting against it. Republican Party, who allegedly
I don't have the facts on that.
voted to, oh, I got the facts, who voted mostly against the budget for FEMA, which is why they run out of money. Not only that, reading is fundamental. The
Agreed.
$750 said immediate relief. There's a word that goes in between that. Immediate. That means if you call today, you get it today. Allegedly. Don't quote me on that.
We don't have those facts and figures.
Right. There's that, that's the government. But that doesn't mean that that's all the relief that they're going to give. And then people are spreading all this misinformation talking about, well, Kamala need to be doing more. Okay. Back to U.S. history and civics and economics, y'all.
No,
She's
thanks.
the vice presidente of these United States. She cannot go over Joe Biden. She sits there, hugs the babies, kisses the necks until Joe is incapacitated.
Kisses the necks.
That's, well, not hopefully kiss her necks.
How much money do you think we've sent to Ukraine?
Billions.
That's insane. What was Hurricane Katrina? Category what?
Category 5.
Which is what this new...
No, was it category 2? No, it was a 5. It was a 5. It was a 5. Because it was a 2 when it hit South Florida. Because it hit when I was at my parents' house.
Okay.
It was a category 5.
Holy shit.
Because when it picked up speed and warmth in the Gulf.
It caused an estimated $125 billion in damages.
They still recovering.
True. That is so true. And that was 2005. That was almost 20 years ago. Does that feel it? It does not feel like 20 years ago.
No, it does not.
Oh my God.
Time went
George
by so
Bush
fast.
does not care about black people. That doesn't feel like 20 years ago.
He doesn't, because he should have left them kids behind.
He does.
And I might have been a product of
Have
the
you
left
seen him
behind.
in Africa? He
No.
loves those little black babies.
I cannot. It's a weird fetish, and I can't take it. All I'm saying is, y'all.
You were not left behind.
No, I wasn't. No, but I didn't need to be left behind. I'm smart. I comprehend shit. Okay, I'm a kid of the Dewey Decimal System. Okay, thank you very much. And I had to go to the library and I had to look up my research in encyclopedia books. Okay, we didn't have Ask Jeeves at the time. Thank you. So I didn't need to be left behind. I was right on track.
Like,
I was a lazy student though, but
we shouldn't have called it left behind. Like, some kids just...
you need to leave people behind.
Everyone has different aptitudes. And we're not gonna. I don't understand why people are being punished.
Kirk Cameron he's made multiple movies called Left Behind, right? Some people ain't gonna be caught up in the rapture. You understand?
I told you my brother thought we got raptured.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
There were times I did too.
It's because of the Left Behind movies.
Listen, Kirk Cameron scared the shit out of a lot of us in the 80s and 90s.
I was like, this is it.
We were like, oh my God, the cars are on the road. Oh, people are falling out of their sweaters. It's insane. I'll tell you what else.
Every time I walk into a patient room and they're not in the bed,
yeah,
or the chair, I'm like, oh.
I know I'm caught up, Lord. What did happen? We got to talk about it real quick since we are already talking about politics. The VP debate, the vice presidential debate.
Yeah,
of,
politics.
JD Vance and Tim Walz. Did you watch it? Or clips?
You know, the vibes were great and high, and I'm so proud of America for just putting forth candidates to go up there and to debate, and that it's on a publicly televised platform, and that we even have a democracy like we do.
Bullshit. Anyway,
I love this country.
that means she did not watch it. So I watched the debate, and honestly, I have to say this about the debate. I felt like the debate was a very... it was way more mature, right?
Okay.
Than the presidential debate, because of course Trump cannot have conversations with people. He's an idiot. Anyway, JD Vance did overtalk Tim Walz at points. And the faces that Tim Walz was making, you could tell he was boiling. You saw him clenching his jaws and trying to just calm himself down. But the whole time, this was Tim Walz's face. He was looking at stuff, and JD Vance said something. I can't remember what he said. He said something just so off the wall. And so Tim Walz was like, he looked over at him real quick. It was more funny than anything because Tim Walz, you could tell he wasn't settled. Mm-hmm. But then like the last maybe like 45 minutes to an hour, he got settled and he was just on a rampage. And I loved it. I love the level of maturity that he talked with. the level of poise and ease that he talked with, some of the policies that they talked about. JD Vance was just lying out his fucking ears. It was ridiculous. And then he had the nerve to ask the moderators, well, I thought you guys said that you weren't going to fact check. You immediately lost the debate.
Question.
Yeah, you immediately lost the debate by saying
I wouldn't have asked it out loud, but also I would have been annoyed if you told me you weren't going to fact check and then you're out there fact checking my ass. Well, yeah, I would love to go bullshit.
That's when he said that he was talking about how Democrats are wanting to do late term abortions and all that kind of stuff and have the babies born and then kill them. And Tim Walz was like, what? That's not what we want to have done. And then they were talking about the guns and everything, and they were asking him about the NRA, how he was such a big NRA guy and what changed his mind. And he said, well, talking to these Sandy Hook parents, when we went through Sandy Hook, that was a huge thing. And he was like, my views on guns have changed. He was like, nobody's trying to take your guns. We're just trying to make regulatory changes on how accessible they actually are. And I'm like, for the people who already have the guns, nobody's coming after your fucking guns.
Better not.
God damn. You know what they should do though, honestly? They should make each person who owns guns, because I'm a gun owner, and they should make all of us get insurance policies on them. So every gun you own, you have to get an insurance policy on.
It would be a lot less shootings.
I think so, especially for these parents and their kids.
I will say, I don't know if you do you watch cable at all?
No.
Like cable TV?
I don't pay for that.
We can say what we want about Republicans, but the fucking commercials that are coming up.
Oh, they're hilarious.
They're so good.
They're hilarious. That's
like the doomsday. I'm obsessed with them. I think they're so, I love watching them.
Are you against chopping up babies?
Literally.
Then vote for us.
It's
whoa.
so, and I'm like, I think surely they know this is reaching a very certain group of people.
Absolutely.
But I'm like, you'll have to know this is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it is. Those of us who are intelligent, who actually have, any ounce of
they're chuckling.
competence.
I'm like, this is so funny.
Yeah, and I approve this message. I'm gonna just tell you who's winning.
Do you hate America?
So do the Democrats.
Yeah,
Vote for Republicans.
Yes, I'm like, yeah, you got me.
America.
Wow. And I'm like, this fucking works on people. I'm like, to me, surely they have to know that half of the country is like, this is fucking crazy. And the other half is like, you know what? They made a really goddamn good point there.
Listen, you know who's winning the campaign trail for me on social media? Kamala HQ. Y'all have to follow that page. It is fucking hilarious because she's using JD Vance's and Trump's words against them. And so he'll be like, I'm the worst president in the whole entire United States. And then Kamala's like, I approve this message. I'm just like, what the fuck
and
are
that's
y'all
when
doing?
You get Gen Z
yes.
into your camp. They really know how to use the internet.
I absolutely. And then they had this one video where they were showing the difference between, I remember when JD Vance went to that one little ice cream shop or whatever, he couldn't talk to people. The little girl was like, what the fuck you want? I mean, she didn't say that, but I wish she would have. But then Tim Walz is going in and is like, yeah, I want some apple cider donuts. I want this, I want that. Let's take the pictures. I'm honored to do it. And they're just like, there's a clear difference in the candidates. It's freaking hilarious. And then Melania, I don't know if you saw this last week, she came out and did this video, like, whole cinematography, right? Mm-hmm. Black and white, just very serious face. I am Melania Trump. And when it comes to women's rights, there are compromises, but nothing should ever compromise a woman's right to choose. And I'm like, Melania, so you're saying you're for abortion? Like, literally, she put a whole thing out saying that she's for, like, women's rights to choose. And I'm like, ma'am, like, your husband doesn't agree with that.
I didn't have the right to choose, but you should.
Well, and then JD Vance came out and was like, well, we respect Melania's opinion. And I'm like, she is tearing down that house from the inside out, and I love it. She's like, I'm not going through another 4 years of this shit. I came to be a trophy wife, and that's it.
If you have not watched the show Veep on HBO.
Oh, it's so good.
I implore you. Because
Julia Dreyfus is amazing.
It's amazing. And watching it, you're like, I know this is fictional comedy, but this 100%, either side, Democrat, Republican, I don't give a shit. Mm-hmm. This has got to be what the White House is looking like.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a bunch of clusterfuck. Mm-hmm. It's so funny. Please go watch it.
It's scandal at its finest. Speaking of scandals, what were you talking about? College admission rates.
Okay. I remember us talking about the FAFSA. No? Yes?
Yes. Yeah.
That they had redone it like at the beginning of the year and no one could get it to work. Yeah. Well, now they're saying like not admission rates, but like college application rates are down about 9%, and it's affecting mostly, wouldn't you guess it, minorities and low-income families, because they can't figure out what the fuck to do with the FAFSA, and then it took them so long. By the time they got to apply, there was no fucking money left.
Well, I mean, I just feel like if we weren't giving all this money to Ukraine, maybe we would have some money. I'm kidding. That's not how the government works. They already allot money.
That's exactly how the government works. It's one big pot.
The Department of Education.
We're not using it for student loans. We have to give it to Ukraine.
Exactly. That, or Israel, probably. Yeah, I mean, I think the college admission rates overall, I'm probably quite sure are lower just because kids are not willing. Like, here's the thing. Careers and industries are not worth the amount of debt that these children have the potential to go into. They see millennials and how we and Gen X, we are struggling to pay off student loans. Yeah. And they're just like, bitch, we're going to be on TikTok doing some dances, making some money. We're not doing that.
A lot of kids just aren't going because they're like, well, I'm not going to get money for it. It's like, what's the point?
I can get a certification. And it obviously depends on what industry you're going
into.
And
what does it matter when all these people are getting degrees and everyone's getting laid off right now?
Right, and nobody can find a job.
Nobody can find a job.
You know, people are, the economy is down. People can't get enough pay, okay? As for me, all I can say, thank you, Lord, for all you've done for me. Anyway.
I love clocking in and clocking out. Not really, but I will do it. It's better than the alternative of not being able to.
Listen, I know we complain a lot on this podcast, but I want God, Jesus the Christ, that I serve,
my
to
Savior.
know I am grateful for a job. I am grateful for a livelihood. I am grateful that I get paid and I am in a certain tax bracket that allows me to be able to afford my lifestyle.
Yes. Amen,
and
Lord.
I am grateful that I am have the use and the activities of all of my limbs in order to do my job effectively and correctly, and that I have the competence to do it. So while there are things at my job that I absolutely do hate, I do not hate not having a job.
It is not lost on the two of us that we are blessed to have jobs.
Absolutely. We are absolutely blessed to have jobs.
I love when that fucking direct deposit hits.
Baby, I be looking for it every other week. Thank you, Jesus. I'm rich again. Hallelujah.
Yes. So, but yeah.
Except for when it's time to pay my mortgage.
Yeah, that fucking sucks. All these other people are there's huge layoffs right now.
Yeah.
From these people who, guess what, have college degrees. So what the fuck was it worth?
Speaking of college too, remember how earlier this year there was this whole big debacle, or maybe it was last year. No, it was this year, with affirmative action and how quite a few Asian students were suing, some of these Ivy League schools and Department of Education, blah, 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 allegedly, because they felt like their admission rates were not, that affirmative action was actually holding them back. Well, what ended up happening this year, the polls that came out basically said that the Asian American population of college students to these Ivy League schools like Stanford and Princeton and Yale and whatever has significantly dropped by like 26%. Don't quote me on the thing. You can Google it yourself. Anyway, don't quote me on the number.
You're
but
a learned person.
African Americans, their rate of admission has remained the same, while Asians has significantly dropped. And it's because a lot of these states have banned all of this legacy bullshit, which they should have. Because if you got the grades, you just got the grades. Here's the thing. I didn't have the grades to get in a lot of schools. And I didn't care because I didn't try in high school.
Here's my thing. Affirmative action at least gave us a little bit of like, here are these quotas you have to at least meet. I feel like now you've taken it away. You don't think these schools are going to find other ways to fucking get around that and get their legacies in and all that shit? And now it's just going to be a little less monitored because we don't have this big title of DEI affirmative action to go on top of it. But
it just shows again that affirmative action was never helping black people.
That's true.
It wasn't about just letting black people in because we're black. No, it was protections to say, listen, if you have 4 white candidates or 4 candidates, you got a black, a white, Asian, Hispanic. If all of them have the same grades, why can't all of them get in? Now, don't just accept the Asian and the white, and then the black and the Hispanic got to go to the side.
To get it, you have to. Okay, it's not like they're just letting in these fucking not as smart kids because they are. Like, all of the people applying to these programs are very intelligent.
Right.
You just have, they were saying for a long time, this group of marginalized people weren't given the same opportunities and access. So because of that, they all don't have the same kind of setup that this other group of people has. So while they may be as smart and have similar GPAs, one has access to all these things like SAT courses and different extracurricular activities that this group doesn't have. And we're going to say, okay, we're going to give you a little bump so everyone's equal again. But God forbid
equality,
It's insane.
Speaking of equality, the port strike happened and it went the fuck away as soon as it happened. God damn it. Let me tell you something about an industry that's very important. Okay, ports.
Hey, listen. Since the beginning of time, you need
ports,
a port.
I mean, they were trafficking humans at one point during slavery, but ports are important. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, listen.
But
the backbone of this country was slavery. And you know where it started?
Unfortunately.
The port.
The ports. That's literally where it started.
Hey, America was founded on
And-
a port.
Well, actually, the real America. Never mind. Anyway, we ain't gonna even get to it. All I'm saying is, the
Hey,
port strike
Columbus
is
Day is
over.
next week.
It's Indigenous Peoples Day.
Day.
Fuck Columbus. We don't fuck with him, but I'm glad for the day off. Hallelujah.
Amen.
But the port strike happened, and literally it didn't even last 24 hours. And then people was like, hey, God damn it, we know how much money we're gonna lose per day, so we're gonna give you motherfuckers what the fuck you want. They were not even asking for unrealistic things. They were asking for a $5 raise per year over the next 6 years, which to me is valid. Like certain industries like trucking, even like delivery services like, Amazon and UPS and
they
FedEx
don't
and all
get
of
a
them,
break.
they don't get a break, but also too, they have crazy high productivity standards. Not only that, working at the port is very dangerous.
Yeah.
But it wasn't just about the money that they went on strike also too. It was about automation and them losing their jobs because they're creating all these robots to take over their jobs. Not only that, port workers, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, please correct me if I'm wrong, but there are a lot of port workers who are contractors. So when they don't have work, bitch, they don't work and make
because
money.
don't they all just like you show up and they just
Yes.
hand you a job and or I think you can get like on an app, you either take the job or you don't.
Exactly. So a lot of them are contractors, and so if they don't, there's time that they don't work for weeks at a time, and so that $5 per every year, people are saying, oh, they're going to be making $63 an hour. Okay, go do their job for an hour and see
No,
if you
thank
deserve
you.
to make $20 a goddamn hour working at a port.
I would not like to do that.
No, them people can get crushed. Like, come on now.
Can you imagine being crushed?
But girl, baby, but also too, here's the thing. I need, again, this is why the children need to be left behind. People had no clue what the fuck these ports actually imported and exported and whatnot.
Lord.
People went out buying all kind of toilet tissue. I just want to ask every American who went out and did that. You realize that your water company is not on a strike.
Also, toilet paper
Wash
is
your
from
ass.
the U.S. and Canada. We were gonna be okay.
Baby, Kirkland signature is in the United States. The Costco brand, the Sam's brand.
I need you to get off of Facebook. I really think that's the
Jesus.
problem.
Then people over here, make sure y'all stock up on the water. And now you got hurricanes that are beating up the East Coast, and they can't get no goddamn tissue and shit.
I didn't have to. I listened to the NPR podcast and where they interview people about the that are in North Carolina.
Yeah.
My God, the story and like all hurricane, like any kind of natural disaster, the stories are awful. But having to listen to these people talk about the shit that they've seen and gone through in the last week, it's awful.
It's insane. Okay. There's nothing funny about destruction and hurricanes.
Nothing.
There was this one
except for the story that's we're about to
we're about to hear. This one content creator, they came on there and they were just like, I'm just gonna say it. For the people who buy houses by the beach and you building your house in the sand on stilts, I'm not feeling bad for you. Just like
for your $1 million home.
your $1 million beach home. Like, and people are talking about the storm surges are taking these houses out. Yeah, because they're literally 2 feet from the beach, y'all. I need y'all to understand how things work. If you're close to the water's gonna take it out. That's just how it goes.
The podcast I was listening to was interviewing this,
but it's still
group of
devastating.
people. It is devastating. It was like this. They lived in this neighborhood, and there was an elder, 70-year-old man who lived across. He lived in this house for years, and they found his dog, and they were like, "Oh shit!" So they heard someone yelling. He was the water was so high, he was hanging onto a tree for like 24 hours or something. And they couldn't get to him. They called the rescue people, and the rescue people were like, "We will lose more people going to get him."
Yeah.
And they just had to, and then finally he just stopped yelling for help.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It is sad, but oh shit. I think we just lost. Fuck. I hope we did not lose the video. I think we did. Anyway, but we've got to keep going. Anyway.
The audio is great.
The audio is great. So I think we lost the video.
Some would say
damn
the
it.
best part of the show is the audio.
Should we just go ahead and stop it or just keep it going? Praying for the people.
No, truly, I'm praying for the people affected by it. Natural disasters are awful, and you can't do anything, and it's just a really shitty situation.
Yeah, for real. Because you really can't do anything about it, and it's horrible, and it's one of those things that right now the hurricane season is really bad, and so just as they're trying to recover somewhat, now we got 3 more systems that are coming through, and it's just like you don't even have a chance to even get back up at this point.
The beautiful thing. I won't say beautiful or nice. Just the thing about shit like this is that it really does equalize people in a way that nothing else can, and brings people to get, like, you see humanity like you don't see it before. Just
true.
people helping each other and rallying around each other. And if you're a piece of shit, it really comes out during a natural disaster.
It really does. And it gives you a glimpse into the apocalypse of what's going to happen.
That's
like
true.
if your neighbors are really going to help you or not. So
You need good neighbors.
You really do. You really do. What else you want to talk about before we get out of here, since we lost the video? Sorry, y'all. We lost the video.
All.
But
You've only wanted to hear us talk anyway.
Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
perfect. I've got nothing left to say.
Oh, Princess Diaries 3 is...
Princess Diaries
a
3 is
thing.
coming me out.
You keep looking at the camera like it's on, but it's not.
Camera's off. Oh my god, this is so freeing. I can do anything. I could flash the room
Which
right
you used
now.
to do all the time.
I did used to do it all the time accidentally. I love Princess Diaries.
Me too.
Did you ever read the books? No, you didn't. I didn't either. That was
Why do you ask me
I don't
questions
know,
that you already know the
I
answer to?
just do you never okay. Half the shit that I read is because I know it's coming out and I'm like, I have to read the book. That's why I ask, because I'm the kind of person who's like, I need to know.
No, I just get the spoilers on like IMDb and stuff like that.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. To each their own. I'm very excited for Princess Diaries 3.
I am too.
So my cousin's daughter is 4, maybe 5. And she would fight me on watching Princess Diaries for years. And so this year she finally watched Princess Diaries and loves it. So
Oh, of
now
course.
we can watch it all the time.
If you don't like Princess Diaries, you got a serious problem
it's
in the
so,
world.
I quote it all the time.
Princess of Genovia.
Yeah. The Queen is coming.
love
Man, so good.
Yeah, Anne Hathaway and Julianne Andrews is amazing. I mean, come on.
It's a stacked group. Of
I'm excited to see where they take her life now. Like,
I know. Honestly,
does she have kids? Like, what's going on? You know?
She still looks great.
Oh,
Both of them
yeah,
do.
they haven't aged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that like to be God's favorite?
You are so crazy. People are early Christmas putting decorations up early right now, and I'm like, y'all, it's not even Halloween. Just relax. Can we get through Halloween first, and then let's get through
I saw that
Thanksgiving?
someone posted Home Goods and they had Christmas stuff out already.
They've been having stuff out since July.
But I think in August they started having Halloween stuff.
Yeah, they did, because they start selling. They put out, the thing is, a lot of these stores put out stuff during the summertime, and they mark it down 50% off, so you think you're getting a deal, but it's all the shit from last year anyway
This is what pisses me off.
that it didn't sell.
Like
allegedly.
Target, Hobby Lobby, those places, they put out Halloween stuff in August, but then mid-October it's all gone. They don't restock,
Exactly.
and I'm like, but it's not even Halloween yet, and this is
Exactly.
when I need the Halloween stuff.
Exactly.
It drives me nuts.
Yeah, it's insane. Are you dressing up for Halloween this year?
I want to, but I have nowhere to go, so I
What do
don't
you
know.
want to dress up as?
I don't know. Why? What do you want to dress up as?
I don't know.
So I always have these grand Halloween plans and never come to fruition because I have ADHD and I procrastinate. So
I just forgot to buy candy the last 2 years, and I'm like, let me just turn my lights off so people won't come. And they still rung my doorbell.
I went I don't know if you know this, but I'm an occupational therapist.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. That's amazing.
And
You help people find jobs?
Yeah, I help people find jobs. When they
love
come to
that.
my door and trick or treat, I hand them
love
a
that.
job card.
That's
Have you
awesome.
heard of the Teal Pumpkin Project?
No.
So I'm like big fan of the Teal Pumpkin Project, and basically what it is it's for mostly like autism awareness, but really any child who can't have candy, right?
Gotcha.
Like traditional candy.
Yeah.
You put out a teal pumpkin or something, and that means that's supposed to signify to the Halloween trick or treaters that I have things that aren't candy or edible, like
Gotcha.
or like I either have like
Books
vegan
or
candy,
pencils.
books, pencils, stickers,
Yeah.
stuff like that, to where
Yeah.
if you can't eat candy, you can still come. I did all of that. No one acknowledged my teal pumpkin, but it's
Well,
fine.
I'm going to acknowledge your teal pumpkin.
Thank you. I think that's so not because you just don't know. Kids have allergies, and also
Absolutely.
some kids don't like candy, and
Right.
I just think it's a cute thing to do. And
Some kids have silver caps,
exactly,
you know.
and some kids parent like I
Diabetes.
don't know. I think if I was a parent, I would also just be like, thank you for not having candy. I don't know.
I don't
That's
know
a
if I
lot
would
of
take my
fucking
children
candy.
trick-or-treating, though.
Really?
I would just let them dress up, but that's
Maybe
about
like
it.
a trunk or treat. Do you think you would do?
I would do trunk or treat, absolutely. Trunk or treat to me is safe. I'm not going to people's houses. I don't believe in that.
Yeah.
Not in this economy.
my
In the 90s, yes.
Yeah. My community's gated.
Okay, fancy.
Well, no, it's just I know that's like a false sense of safety, but
True.
it does feel a little safer. Also, most of the people in my neighborhood do they set up like a table on their sidewalk or
Yeah.
like in front of the garage so you don't have to walk up to the house, which I like.
The same thing in my community too. Like they have like where they do like the little hay ride. So there's always like the one dad who has like a Ram 350, 3500 or whatever, and he puts the kids on the back, and so they trade out, and so they come in the neighborhood, and then all the kids disperse, and the moms go with them, and then they they take a little time, and then they all match up, they count them out, and then they go back in the truck and stuff like that. So
Halloween is a holiday where you put a lot of trust in humanity, though.
You really do,
because
really
first
do.
of all, I don't fuck with costumes or masks, but everyone's face is covered.
Yeah.
It's dark. You're walking up to people's houses.
Yeah.
You're taking food from them.
And then, but I love the parents who do have, like, the neighbors who have like the wine and cheese kind of stands for the parents. And there was this one guy when I first moved into my neighborhood, when I first bought my house, there was this one guy who used to have a hot dog stand. He literally lived across the street.
A hot dog stand.
He would give out free hot dogs to the parents and beers to the dads and stuff. It was super cool. And donuts.
Dude, COVID ruined everything. My neighborhood used to be thotting and bopping, and then after COVID, shut that shit down.
Yep, same thing here. But yeah, my community, they go all out for Halloween.
I do love Halloween. Like, I don't know, I feel like it is such a nice time community wise. Like, everybody's out, and I don't know. I do like it if everyone could just act accordingly.
Yeah, it's the teenage kids that get me later on, where they're like ding dong ditching and
in
stupid
Florida
stuff.
Did they do, what is the night before Halloween called? Like the prank night, but it's called something.
We don't do that. They'll prank your ass the same night.
We don't do that either.
They'll throw eggs on your house, on your car.
What
everything.
is that called?
Hallows Eve.
Give me a second. Mischief night.
No, that's not a Floridian thing. I've never heard of that.
We don't do it here either. I've just heard of it, but I think it's maybe like up northeast where everyone does pranks. I don't fuck with pranks. I don't like pranks. I don't like any of that shit.
I don't like pranks either, but I'll do like a haunted house with like a group of people. Or me and my best friend, we've gone to them because she likes to be. I swear she's
Devil's Night. That's also what it's called.
She loves to go to like watch scary movies, horror movies. She loves to go to like haunted houses. I'll go to a haunted house with people. I'm not ever gonna go by myself. I'm not doing that.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I like
people who go by themselves. I'm like, what's your motivation for doing that? That's weird.
Very strange.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you watch scary movies?
No.
Okay.
I don't need that type of demonic spirits in my house.
I agree. Okay.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Speaking of movies, what are you watching?
I am still watching Grey's Anatomy, and I'm on 17 season 17. This is where all the COVID stuff is, and it is a bit triggering to rewatch and relive that stuff because it's not, their stuff is not real. I'm just like, but some of the emotional stories, especially when they get attached to these patients, and you're like, your patient does wonderful, and then they come back the next day and they're dead. So it was kind of tough reliving that shit. But other than that, I'm really.
What did
just
I see the
that.
other day? I came over the other day and she was watching Grey's Anatomy, and either someone on a vent, or had an ET tube, but it wasn't connected to the vent. Or they had a trach and it wasn't connected to the vent, but the vent was there.
Everybody's talking over their vents. I'm like, this is so
or
bullshit.
was the BiPAP? The BiPAP was on the patient, but they were talking like clear.
Clear. There was no wind tone, nothing.
Just so you know, when you're wearing BiPAP in a hospital, all you hear is...
You can't hear it. That's it. You can't hear anything. You can barely even see.
Actual sound.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's definitely fake shit. But yeah, I've just been watching Grey's. That's all.
Typical.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the new season's out. So yeah.
Same players?
Watch it. I mean, Jackson is still on there to a degree. Amelia, unfortunately, I wish they would get her character off. I'm so sick of Hunt.
Go.
They need to kill off Hunt and fucking Teddy. I'm sick of them. God damn, get rid of all of them.
I think they need to do a clean sweep and get rid of anyone who was there prior to 2020.
Not Dr. Bailey or Richard
That's
Webber.
true. They can keep the black people.
Yeah, exactly.
Other than that, they gotta
exactly.
go.
Keep all the black people. We're rooting for everybody black. Absolutely. But yeah, that's all I'm watching. What are you been watching?
I started watching Nobody Wants This, which is the new like rom-com series with Kristen Bell and Adam Brody.
What is that on?
It's on Netflix.
Oh, cool.
He's a rabbi. She's a podcast host. They start dating. I love Adam Brody. He could read a menu and I'd watch it. So
I love that for
I
you.
am tapped in. But it's super cute. Script is good. It's very interesting. And it's just cute. People are really obsessed with it, which I totally get.
Yeah.
Adam Brody's perfect. Kristen Bell is Kristen Bell. What else am I watching? Oh, I just watched a movie on Netflix also with our personal fave, the girl from Star, Simone, Brittany O'Grady.
Yeah.
It's called It's What's Inside. It's like a not horror, more like psychological thriller, scary sci-fi movie. No context is the best context. But if you like kind of like young teen fun, not scary, but like weird, spooky.
Like thriller?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
It was
suspense.
Yeah, it was like that. It's a really interesting concept. Script was really good. I didn't know where it was going the whole time, but I really did like it.
Oh, it's good. It's cool.
Yeah, that's what did I say it was called? It's What's Inside.
What's Inside? Mm-hmm.
It was a really funky movie.
Really?
And it's kind of one of those movies that as you're watching it, you're having questions like, oh shit, what if this was to happen? And then something else, you're like, oh shit, that's probably not a good idea.
Yeah.
You should never know what's going on.
See, that's why I like to watch movies like that, because it's very educational.
You should watch it.
I have to watch it in daytime.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right. Well, anything else we need to talk about before we get out of here?
No, that's all I got.
All right, y'all. Well, thank y'all so much for joining us for another episode of the
Thanks
Face
for
Off with Lily
joining
and Fowler.
us, everybody.
I know, right? Sorry, we lost part of the video. I pray that we didn't lose the whole video, but who knows? We probably did. God forbid.
No.
But, I mean, it cut off saying it had no memory, but I literally wiped the card. But anyway, hopefully we did not lose part of the video. If we did, we only lost like 10, 15 minutes of it.
Yeah.
Anyway, but maybe a hurricane's coming. World War III is coming.
Yeah.
God damn it, just listen.
You know what? This is like old school when you only had the radio.
Exactly.
We just wanted to give you a little glimpse.
You can imagine what we look like. And I'm actually having a good hair day. Anyway, because I did my own hair. Anywho, but y'all have an amazing week on purpose. For those people that are in Florida, y'all please be careful.
Praying for you.
Praying for y'all. Please board up your houses if you can. Please evacuate if you can. Make sure y'all stock up on gas and water and food and whatnot. Don't get no toilet paper. You can wash your ass with water. It's fine. And soap. But yeah. So we're praying for everybody. Y'all have an amazing week on purpose. Y'all remember to spread love.
Spread light.
And don't forget to laugh your face off.
Thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of The Face Off with Fleming and Fowler. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at The Face Off Pod. Be sure to tune in to The Face Off every Tuesday where new episodes are released.